Joe Rogan becomes the latest celebrity to blast Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruin your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they've Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit, and they're like, you are a key part of this.
This is what you get, though.
Zelensky was asked to leave the White House. Then he appeared on Fox News and said he thinks he can still salvage his relationship with President Trump, which is like Justin Baldoni saying, I'd love to work with Blake again.
So what was it like working with Blake Lively on the set of It Ends With Us? Justin Baldoni dropped a number of text messages with crew members detailing just how
Joe Rogan's shocking accusations about his wife, Blake Lively, have reportedly unsettled Ryan Reynolds, who is known for his sharp humor and endearing personality. According to Rogan, Lively has been working with a secret motive that could threaten Reynolds' reputation and career. The dramatic disclosure has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, leaving fans wondering what mysteries could be hiding beneath the surface of their seemingly perfect marriage. As rumors grow, many are eager to learn the truth behind Rogan's audacious statements and how Reynolds is handling the unexpected uproar.
And ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement?
Because they were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise. The whole thing's crazy. And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case.
He's going hard in the paint. But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did for the boys.
Exactly. You got to do it.
You need real motherfuckers to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
Yeah, especially a guy like that who's like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yep.
And then he's like, all right,
dude,
enough.
He posted the receipts.
Oh,
he's like, oh, remember our text exchange? Bah, bah,
how about
bah,
she told
bah.
him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding? And then part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like, you literally have a text exchange back and forth. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
Because no one's ever done it, because everyone just bows down.
Because everyone's scared.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds, A-list, Blake Lively, A-list. Like, they're the queens.
According to Rogan and Brandon Shaw, Rogan insulted Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, saying that they made a mistake by becoming involved in a legal dispute with Justin Baldoni. They detailed how the brand, which was based on a collection of novels, initially belonged to Baldoni, but Lively and Reynolds allegedly used the Todd Me Too movement to drive him out when Lively allegedly attempted to take over a film series that Baldoni controlled.
Joe's spot on. Brandon and Joe are spot on, and it's just encouraging to see more big personalities, outlets, celebrities just talking about it realistically and not the way Blake and Hollywood is trying to spin it, which a lot in Hollywood are. Now, clearly Joe's not afraid. He says what he wants. He always has. But still, it's still a massive, big platform. And to see him out there talking about it honestly and actually sharing the proper facts can't help Blake and Ryan. They must not like seeing such big personalities and people with so much sway, but being out there calling it out for what it is, because let's be honest, Hollywood doesn't like that. They don't like us being honest. They don't like us telling you the truth. They try to to massage everything into their...
As prominent people like Ryan Reynolds, the New York Times, and publicist Leslie Sloan try to disassociate themselves from Baldwin's $400 million extortion and defamation lawsuit, the ongoing legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is getting more intense. Their lawsuits against each other are set to go to trial on March 9th, 2026. Judge Louis J. Lyman recently referred to the case as a battle between PR firms.
Baldoni's lawsuit is 179 pages, so in case you don't have time to read through it all, I want to read you a direct quote from the complaint that essentially summarizes everything that Baldoni is alleging. He says, "Lively wields immense power as one of the world's best-known celebrities. She set out to destroy plaintiffs' livelihoods and businesses if they did not bend to her incessant demands, and when they refused to give way, she did exactly that, accusing them of foul and reprehensible sexual misconduct." Now, I reached out to Baldoni's attorney, who tells me that they have copious amounts of text messages and emails and other evidence that they say proves that Baldoni did nothing wrong. I reached out to a representative for Blake and Ryan. They have not responded yet.
So Blake Lively files to dismiss $400 million lawsuit, calling it an abuse of the legal system. But what does this mean exactly? Let's break it down. So this actually isn't headline news. Just this week, Ryan Reynolds also filed to dismiss the lawsuit, but what does it mean? So this is specifically referring to Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against them. They want the judge to dismiss Baldoni's lawsuit against them, like saying, hey judge, we don't deserve to be sued. Can you please just get him away from us? Her publicist Leslie Sloan and the New York Times have also filed motions to dismiss, but why is this so important right now? Because the judge just settled the protective order dispute, which means the next phase is to move into discovery, which means digging up the text messages, digging up the emails, deposing people, Taylor Swift. And along with a motion to dismiss, we have Leslie Sloan and the New York Times, and presumably next will be Blake and Ryan, are filing a motion to stay discovery, meaning they don't want to move into discovery just yet until the judge decides on all of their motions to dismiss. Long story short, it's a delay tactic. It seems like they don't want to move into discovery, probably because discovery is going to get very messy. Again, the text messages, the emails, we're going to get into all the records. We're going to get into the depositions. Taylor Swift, Hugh Jackman, Bradley Cooper. You know for a fact, Brian Friedman is coming for all of them in the depositions. Now, why might Khaleesi and her dragons want to delay the discovery process? One theory is that we have another simple favor. The official premiere is coming out soon, so we may not want to taint that any further, right? Oh, but there's a bigger reason we may want to delay this process. This very, very messy process. Bigger than another simple favor, Ryan Reynolds' company is about to go public. Sounds like a very lucrative deal. Now, we wouldn't want to hurt any chances of a really big sale by having messy details about this messy lawsuit come out. Might also be why Ryan Reynolds came out so hard, doubling down on calling Justin Baldoni a predator in his motion to dismiss this week. I don't know, just a theory, but the timing's a little convenient. Am I right? Of all of them, I would say the New York Times has the strongest chance of getting their motion to dismiss granted because there are special privileges that the press does have. And we're learning how they, in my opinion, abuse those privileges. But they have the strongest case in a motion to dismiss, in my opinion. But we'll see. I doubt Blake or Leslie Sloan or Ryan Reynolds will get dismissed. The New York Times might, but I'm predicting Brian Friedman's going to come back swinging pretty hard to keep them in this.
However, Joe Rogan stirred things up by making fun of Reynolds for his March 18th dismissal motion, implying that the Deadpool actor and Lively had ulterior motives for working on It Ends With Us. Rogan conjectured that the Hollywood power couple intended to take over the entire film franchise, but there is no hard evidence to support this theory other than Baldwin's own sarcastic remarks.
Ryan Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, has just shot back at Blake Lively's motion to dismiss. Blake is abusing the legal system. 3 exclamation points. Ryan Friedman tells TMZ Miss Lively's recent motion to dismiss herself from the self-concocted disaster she initiated is one of the most abhorrent examples of abusing our legal system. Friedman says stringent rules are put into place to protect the innocent and allow individuals to rightfully defend themselves, while noting laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda.
Court of public opinion has already spoken. Everyone's upset at Blake Lively. They're upset at Ryan Reynolds. She's a unique defendant in this case where she's going to be able to use this brand new shiny law. There's not a law, very broad. And the way that it's been given, I mean, I have to think that Justin Baldoni's team is looking at this. Of course, they're going to come out publicly and say, this is a bunch of nonsense. You know, this is not a big deal. But if I was the lawyer representing Justin Baldoni on this would be a punch to my gut today. I would be going, uh-oh, what are we going to do with this?
It's a legal judo move for sure on the part of Lively and Baldoni and Friedman and their team. They got to take it very seriously. And I'm sure that they're going to have their arguments and they're going to mount, good.
Dr. Phil weighs in on Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively was a recent segment on the Ho Man Does Stuff podcast, which is hosted by comedian Hoy Mundell and his daughter Jacqueline Schultz. In this episode, comedian Adam Ray plays Dr. Phil in order to humorously examine the ongoing legal dispute between actors Justin Baldwin and Blake Lively. The mimicry adds a humorous perspective to the serious charges made, giving the issue a humorous spin.
Whose side are you on?
Well, Baldoni looks like, what's the word? He's got like a You remember going to school with that kid that always raised his hand real quick in school for extra credit?
Yeah.
But then he also hit on the recess teacher, remember? And she was 35 and he was 12.
Right.
But she still was well, my husband's going to be gone next week, so maybe come over and make him play kickball. But
oh, now I remember. Yes, I do remember.
Baldoni was the hot kid that could fuck a teacher. So he's got that in his head on a movie set, which is, as Gizmo said,
in her complaint, Lively lists a number of alleged instances of Baldoni's misconduct during the It Ends With Us filming, including the open display of inappropriate material, the sharing of private and intimate stories, and uninvited remarks regarding Lively's weight and body. She also claims that after voicing her concerns, Baldoni and his production company Wafer Studios launched a vindictive smear campaign in an attempt to damage her reputation.
Blake Lively suing Justin Baldoni for sexual harassment was not on my 2024 bingo card, but here we are. In Blake's lawsuit, she is alleging there was a meeting that included her husband, Ryan, where she demanded no more showing of nude photos or images of women to Blake, no more mention of Baldoni's alleged previous porno addiction, no more discussions about sexual conquest in front of Blake and others, no further mentions of cast and crew's genitalia, no more inquiries about Blake's weight, and no more further mention about her father who passed away. It goes on to say no more adding of sex scenes and oral sex or on-camera climaxing outside of the scope of the script that she approved. Justin's lawyer basically said this was Blake's attempt to fix her negative reputation. As we know, this last year, she went from being a Hollywood sweetheart to basically being disliked by the fans.
Meanwhile, Hassan Minhaj, who portrayed Marshall in It Ends With Us, tackled speculation regarding on-set friction among the cast in an interview with Esquire. He stated, "I can't speak to other people's experiences, but everyone was very professional and kind to me. It was a great experience, and everyone was wonderful." Minhaj expressed shock upon hearing about the alleged disputes, noting that he was unaware of any such problems during his time on set.
The only It Ends With Us cast member that still follows Justin Baldoni has made a comment about all of the backlash the movie received, and some of the drama between Justin and Blake. Hassan, who plays the husband of Jenny Slate's character, said that he can't speak to anyone else's experience, but he said that his experience was that everyone was professional and easy to work with. He said it was lovely and everybody was lovely, and afterwards he just ended up feeling a bit disillusioned and confused about everything that was happening in the news. He said it was a very strange, bizarre year, and that as a comic, he was definitely laughing at a lot of moments, which we can totally understand. This already adds to the weirdness that was going on within the cast with Jenny Slate just ignoring questions about Justin. Then Brandon Sklenar's comment about Blake and defending her. I feel like Hassan is giving us an inside look at what it was really like. He even said everybody was professional on set, basically denying that Justin was ever unprofessional. But I don't know. Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
I can't speak to other people's experiences, but everyone was very professional and kind to me. It was a great experience, and everyone was wonderful, said Hassan Minhaj, who played Marshall in It Ends With Us, in an interview with Esquire, addressing rumors about on-set friction among the cast. When Minhaj learned of the purported arguments, he reacted disbelief, stating that he was not aware of any such issues while working on set.
I promise you, I've been trying to think of other things to talk about, but another day, another file. And this actually has to do with one of the most interesting aspects of this entire case. Blake Lively is now being sued by Jed Wallace of Street Relations Inc. He has said that she has cost him millions of dollars in reputational harm and is suing her for defamation. Lively's counsel released a statement saying that this is just someone else that's trying to sue her into oblivion for speaking out, and that they are confident that this will get dismissed, which I find that to be really interesting because this is someone that they alleged in her original complaint was really responsible or had a part in allegedly the whole astroturfing, because they alleged that Wallace was responsible for planting negative comments and negative stories.
The legal battles surrounding the movie It Ends With Us have intensified, with crisis publicist Jed Wallace suing actress Blake Lively for $7 million in defamation. Wallace, who owns the Texas-based company Street Relations, claims that Lively falsely accused him of orchestrating a digital smear campaign against her, seriously harming his business and reputation.